Hello everyone again. Welcome back to our program Women and the Bible, and we are discussing book of Esther, how she did, which part was pleasant for God and which part wasn't. We stopped in the place that she pleased Haggai by acting godly. And now is the turn for her to be able to please the king. It was the plan for her right now. She didn't know further other than that plan. But God had further, but God didn't open for her yet. If God opens, by the way, God opens little by little. He opens step by step. First of all, that he told Esther was to obey her cousin that was in charge for raising her. And later we will see that how she was following every advice he was giving. It is very important to follow the advice, the godly advice that we get. Don't say, I know everything. Don't say, I have enough experience. I am old enough to do whatever. I am already grown up. That's not really. Every time we need advice. If there is someone that knows more, it's the best to take the advice and to follow Christ deeper and deeper, to get to the Christ closer and closer. And God has a plan. And for Esther, he had a plan. So as I mentioned, first was to please, to obey her cousin that was as father for her. And second was to please Haggai, whoever was in charge for her in the palace, in the king's palace. And now the third step is how to please the king. We will read Esther chapter 2, verse 13, I would read with you. And this is how she would go to the king. Anything she wanted was given her to take with her from the harem to the king's palace. In the evening she would go there, and in the morning return to another part of harem to care of Shahgaz, the king's eunuch who was in charge of the concubines. She would not return to the king unless she was pleased with her and summoned her by name. So here again, first what we read, she could take anything she wanted. That means she was in charge of her appearance in front of the king. It's the same way when we go to God, when we start praying, we are in charge to decide how to pray, unless we see how God wants us to pray. When you go to your manager or to your leader or to anyone, to your coworker, do you go the way you want to go, or do you think, how would they like to see me? If they would like to see you like clothing this way or another way, at work or in the university, wherever, if you study something or work, or even at home, for everything, for every occasion, or when you are going for a party, there is a dress code. At work, you cannot wear anything you want, like shorts like that, cut like that. Mostly in workplace, you can't wear because of the dress code, because they are not pleased to see that at work. But at home, you can wear whatever you want. You are permitted to wear whatever you would like. But in the same time, there are people that live with you. Do you please them? All our life, we need to see if we please God first of all or not. If we please God, we please everyone. But how we know if we please God or not? When we please God, He brings people and they say that they are pleased with us. If you don't hear anyone saying that they are pleased, so it may be a signal for you. So maybe you are doing something wrong. You look what Bible says for the dress code, even it says. For the talk, how we should talk. It says talk with the psalms and the songs and praising. Do you talk that way, or do you say, you keep cursing, or calling people stupid, or calling them, I don't know what other words you could use? Talk godly. Behave godly, and you will please them. So in this case, she could take anything she wanted, but in verse 15 we read, when the time came for Esther to go to the king, she asked for nothing other than what Haggai, the king's eunuch, who was in charge of the harem, suggested. All he did, he suggested. But she listened. And she asked, I'm sure she asked him. Because her purpose was to please Jesus, the king. In our case, it is to please Jesus, the king. So whom should we ask? If we don't know, we should ask people who know. Haggai was the best person in that case because he knew everything about the king. Find people, the pastor or your maybe friends, or find people that they know Christ or the Bible. One of the best things, just read the Bible and it will open. God will reveal you, and ask Jesus, please reveal for me, open for me, and he will do how to please you. Because when we please God, he opens heavens like that. Blessings come. The money comes, wealth comes, husband comes, children come, blessings, they flow in our lives. All we need is to please God. But in order to please God, we need to find people they know and ask them, unless we open the Bible and read. So here, what we can learn, that Esther did the right choice. She asked Haggai. She didn't say, no, all males are the same. If I wear this and that, I think he will like this way. She asked him, and he suggested. He was like Jesus. He didn't force. Jesus never forces us to do anything. He doesn't even force us to go to heaven. It's our right to choose. He didn't make us as robots, so he instructs us and we go from here to there. He gave us free will to choose him. Once you choose him, go with him and he will direct you. But when you choose your own way, you say, I know how to do, I know how to behave, I know how to do at work, I know how to do in the university, I know how to study, I know how to talk, I know which job to find, which person to marry, how to raise my children. When you say, I know, believe me, you don't know anything. And Esther won the favor of everyone who saw her. She was taken to King Xerxes in the royal residence in the 10th month, the month of Tebet, in the 7th year of his reign. Now the king was attracted to Esther more than to anyone other woman, and she won his favor and approval for more than any of either virgins. So he set a royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. And the king gave her a great banquet, Esther's banquet, for all his nobles and officials. He proclaimed a holiday throughout the provinces and distributed gifts with royal liberality. So Esther reached her goal. So it was her third goal, to reach the favor of the king. So now she's a queen. She reached to that point. Now maybe she feels comforted because she was a captive. She had a hard time in her life. If you have a hard time, there are good news for you. God here, King Jesus is here to deliver you. He paid for you to be free from the stress. And he chose you. And once you please him, he lifts you up. He elevates you and he puts a crown, as we read here. He proclaims joy and he proclaims a holiday throughout the provinces. He's very happy that you are his. But there are more planned for Esther. There is more for you. It's not the end. And the end we will see in the next episode. See you in the next episode, and God bless you.